Dober večer in dobrodošli v Kinodvoru, ki se nocoj pridružuje Noči evropskega filma s projekcijo filma Rdeče nebo Christiana Petzolda. Noč evropskega filma poteka zdaj po številnih kinih po vsej Evropi. To je pobuda za promocijo evropskega filma, ki je nastala pod pokroviteljstvom programa Ustvarjalna Evropa, Medija in Evropske komisije v sodelovanju z Europa Cinemas. Zdaj, kakor ste morda prebrali, se nam bo, zdaj je prišlo do spremembe, namreč pred filmom pridružil režiser filma Christian Petzold. To je en nenavaden pogovor, ampak bomo naredili en bolj temeljit uvod v film in bi vas vseeno povabila, da se tudi vi s kakšnim vprašanjem, če morda poznate njegovo delo, če vas kaj zanima o njegovem delu ali pa o filmu, ki sledi, da se kar opogumite in vprašate, boste zelo dobrodošli. Zdaj pogovor bo potekal v angleščini in bi prosila, da če bi kdo želel prevod v slovenščino, da ga seveda lahko zagotovim, pa da vas prosim, če kar poveste, kar dvignete roko ali kakorkoli, pomahite, hvala. Zdaj pa bi se še za distribucijo filma, ki ga bomo gledali, zahvalila distribuciji Demiurg in pa besedo predala Ines Kežman iz Centra Motovila, ki je nocoj z nami kot predstavnica programa Ustvarjalna Evropa Medija. Ines, dobrodošla.
Dober večer, hvala Varja. Topel dober večer vsem skupaj v dvorani, tudi v imenu Zavoda Motovila, ki izvaja naloge informacijske pisarne programa EU Ustvarjalna Evropa Medija. In omenjeni program, ki ste ga že tule videli tudi logo, namreč pomaga, da filmske zgodbe pridejo do vas. Producentom, režiserjem, distributerjem in drugim akterjem z področja filma omogoča podporo za razvoj, produkcijo in distribucijo evropskih filmov, televizijskih vsebin, omogoča tudi usposabljanja za različne AV profile, kot tudi izvedbo evropskih filmskih festivalov in drugih aktivnosti. Ponosni smo tudi, da je Kinodvor s svojimi filmsko-vzgojnimi vsebinami, da sodeluje v mednarodnih projektih programa Ustvarjalna Evropa. In veseli smo tudi, da Evropska noč že letos že šestič zapored poteka tudi v Kinodvoru in tudi v kar 85 kinematografih po Evropi. Jutri moram še omeniti, da bomo praznovali tudi na Ptuju z nemim filmom Nosferatu z živo glasbeno spremljavo. Tako da vabljeni tudi na Ptuj. Če vas pa zanima, kaj je več o Ustvarjalni Evropi, pa nas lahko vedno kontaktirate, smo na voljo. Pa super pogovor, tako kot je rekla Varja, bodite radovedni, sprašujte, pa uživajte v filmu. Hvala.
Hvala. Skratka, zdaj se bomo povezali in vljudno vabljeni, opozorila bi vas še, da vas lepo prosimo, da počakate na mikrofon, če boste kaj vprašali, kaj ti drugače vas, gospod Petzold, ne bo slišal. Tudi jaz moram zelo v mikrofon govoriti, pa se bom kar tule postavila, začela pogovor, vi pa kot rečeno vljudno vabljeni. Oh, good evening.
Good evening. Hello.
Welcome to our beautiful cinema, and we are also welcoming your new film. So thank you for the film.
Thank you. First, I want to say that this cinema looks very, very fantastic. The red chairs reminds me to a movie of David Lynch, and I hope that I could be at this cinema perhaps next year, but this year it was not possible for me to come to Slovenia. But I think because of the weather situation, it would be also very, very hard to reach Slovenia, Ljubljana.
I have invited also the public to ask questions, but as we are speaking before the film, perhaps we shall see. Perhaps to start, because I'm also a little bit puzzled how to talk, not to tell any spoilers or anything, but if we talk about the title, Die rote Himmel, it could be association on many things, I would say, but one would definitely be an element that we also encounter in your film, and that is fire. And also seeing that your previous film, Andine, was dealing with water, You could tell us a little bit about this road you're taking.
Yes, I'm always interested in the last years in the German Romantic. This was a time when the industrialization takes the miracles out of the world, and the German Romantics try to re-enchant the world, you know, with stories, tales, miracles, and so on. And so water was the water nymph was one of these miracles, one of these tales, Undine. And the second, I was thinking about fire, and it's so when my kids, my son and my daughter, when they were very, very young, I had to read them each evening a really, really bad child book. I hate this book. It's about an ice bear with the name Lars. Yeah? And this is a really boring book, but they like it and they can't sleep without this shit book. Yeah. And so in this book, there was a German word, and this word was Totenstille. This means death silence, a silence, deadly silence. When these kids can't understand what this word means. And many years later, when we came to Turkey for holidays, we were in a part of Turkey where there were forest fires 2 years before. And we want to see what is happening to a forest when there was a forest fire. And we go by car in this region of Turkey. And we came out with the children out of the car. And it was totally still, totally silence there. There were no insects, no wind, no animals. You don't hear anything. And the kids said, asked me if this is death silence. And I said, this is death silence. And in this moment, I thought about what is happening to forests. You know, the Germans, they need their forest. The Slovenia, you have mountains, and you can go to Trieste or to the sea. And so, and the Germans, they have their forests, and these in the forest there are the tales, like Gebrüder Grimm. Yeah? All these stories are in the forests. And what is happening to a world, and what is happening to fiction and the tales when forests are not existing anymore because of forest fires? This was my first approach to this subject. So I know I can talk without spoilers for more than 1 hour. I'm really sure. Yeah.
I think we shall not speak more than 1 hour. People want to see the film.
Yeah, I have a teacher. When I was in school, we have also once a week we have cinema, and the teacher who creates this hour of cinema at Friday afternoon, he always talked before the movie for 1 hour, and the movie was totally destroyed by him. Yeah? He's talking everything, he spoiled everything, and it was boring. Therefore, I said to myself, I never will do this. Yeah?
But perhaps to still talk a little bit about your movie making, not to spoil the film.
Yeah.
Because also in this film, it's very obvious that it's interesting for you because the film takes place on a seaside. And this, I think, people know. If not, they will see it very soon in the film. Yeah. So it's a kind of balance or not balance in the film between people who are on vacation, who have their free time, and between work. And it seems that in your films, we always know what your characters do for their work, that it's an important subject, but in this film especially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. First, I must say we have shot this movie near the Baltic Sea in the same area where, because I heard the word Nosferatu in Slovenia at the beginning of this evening. And this is the region near the Baltic Sea where Nosferatu was made. Yeah? And this is my favorite movie of all time, I must say. This is the film this when I was 8 years, I never have so much fear like in Nosferatu. And it's also a fantastic cineastic experience I had in this time. And you know, for me, work is something I'm always thinking about, because our identity is based on work. When you are in a party, and you met someone, and we are talking a little bit, and the one of the first questions is, what's your profession? What is your work? What are you doing? But we are living in a world where the work is vanishing. Yeah? So we don't have a work like in the 90s or the 20th century anymore. And so how can you find an identity without work? This is something I always think about. And in this movie, you can see that all these protagonists, they have professions. Yeah? So for some of them, the profession is a problem. Yeah, to realize something, you can see, and you can laugh about this without any spoiler. And for example, I like it. You know, there is a no. This is spoiler. I can't talk this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is not possible. Yeah, but I can say that when I was the main actress Paula Beer and I, when we stayed in Paris 2.5 years ago for the work on Undine, press work, we both get infected by COVID. And this time there was no vaccine, nothing. And we came back to Berlin, and we have to lay down in bed for more than 4 weeks. Yeah? And I have fear, I must say. I have fear, fantastic fever dreams, I must say. Yeah? Some of them better than the program of the festival in Cannes. Yeah? But I have fear, and because it's so boring to lay down in bed with fever, and it's really 24 hours, you can't do anything. And so I give myself some themes and subjects to think about. And one subject was, why is it so that all other nations have summer movies, very important genre summer movies, and why the Germans doesn't have it? Yeah? Why the Germans, when the Americans, they have this high school movies, last day of high school, a group of young people in a car, they want to make a vacation somewhere, mostly horror movies. Yeah? Mostly there was a last petrol station, there's a guy with 2 teeth, yeah? And says there's a shortcut you can use, yeah? And there's a cabin in the wood, and there's a guy with sexual problems and a chainsaw. Yeah? I love this movies. Yeah? And the French people, they have the beach. Yeah, and at the beach, everybody, all classes are together. The rich people, the poor people, the young, the old people, and in this 2 months of summer in France, all the education, the French people call it éducation sentimentale. The education of the feelings are you're getting adult there. Yeah, you know after you are getting hurted by love or something else, you know who you are. And the Germans, they have summer movies like there's a student, yeah, in summer he goes back home to his parents, and because he wants to say I'm homosexual, yeah, and this is not a movie, yeah, and so I'm thinking like this, and so I thought that we had a summer movie in the 30s, 1930, People on Sunday, made by Billy Wilder, Edgar Ulmer, Douglas Sirk. Yeah, they're all together in Berlin. They made a fantastic movie about young proletarians at a lake at Berlin with fantastic free bodies and dancing, and it was something very free, like as if they invented neorealismo. Yeah, and then the Nazis had destroyed everything. Yeah, and all these directors, they had to go to the USA like in an exile. And so I think we have lost the summer movies in Germany and we lost our summers, and I want to reinvent them with this movie.
In a very interesting way, I must say. Let's ask the public if anybody has a question, would like to say something to you. Yes, it's obviously hard to. Well, anyway.
Before
yeah.
I must say we wanted to make a Q&A after, but I must say I'm such a big football fan, and my team is really. I know also here Oblak, the goalkeeper from Atletico Madrid. I know everybody, yeah? And my my heart team is playing at 8:30, and I have to see this game. I'm so sorry about this. And therefore,
perhaps to talk a little bit about your characters and then the actors you choose. You have already mentioned Paula Beer, but whom you work with many times. But also in this film, it's an interesting palette of people, also an interesting main character. Not that your characters are always interesting, but this one is interesting perhaps for you, being kind of an asshole, to say, or annoying, or something that we very well know also because we know ourselves, you know.
Yeah.
So not to tell anything, but he does not to tell anything.
And I can. It was the first sentence I've written down in the bed, yeah, in the COVID bed, yeah, when I start to write down the treatment. Yeah? The first sentence was, because there is a novel by James Joyce, the portrait of an artist as a young man, and this is one of my favorite books. And I had written down, the movie is a portrait of an artist as a young asshole. This was my subject. And during the work with the actors, and during these actors, I must say, are very intelligent. Sometimes it's really a torture to have intelligent actors, because they're always asking and wants to know something, and they're very intelligent. And during the work on this movie, on the 20th day of shooting, I discovered, with the help of this intelligent actors, that the asshole was me. I was an asshole when I was 28 years old, and I made my second movie. And my girlfriend, now it's my wife, she visited me during the shooting at the Belgian coast, and she said, "You are acting like a director, but you're not a director. You pretend to be a director. You are like on a stage." And this is a little bit what is in this, what this actor Thomas Schubert realized, and he make it in such a humorful way that I'm relieved now a little bit, and I have my bad memories, because I was really sometimes I was really mean. I remember I was with two very, very famous directors in a plane to Madrid. I remember this. I can't say who this was because they will kill me. And when we are in Madrid in the night, there was a big party. DJ Hell, a techno DJ, at 2:00 in the morning. We have fantastic invitations. And I said to the whole group of directors, I said, I can't join you because I have to work. I have to work for the next movie. I'm sorry, I have to write. So they have a bad conscience to go there. I poisoned everything. On the next day, when I was walking through Madrid, I met them, and I asked them, how was your party? It was okay. And they asked me, and your work? And I said, I have written down 26 pages. It was like a stream. But it was a lie, because I had opened the mini bar, take 2 bottles of beer, and I've watched Eurosport the whole night. It was, so I was an asshole sometimes.
Perhaps if there is a question from the audience. If not, I would just ask the last question. Perhaps the song that comes immediately when the film begins. If you could tell us a little bit about the song, it's a wonderful song.
Yeah, I had another song by Procol Harum, A Whiter Shade of Pale. This was in the script, and my daughter, she's 26 now, 27 years old. She knows everything about music. She has also turntables at home, and she's working with, and so. And she heard this, and she said, "Papa, this is a song from 1968. It's like then the whole movie would be like a retro movie. And she was totally right. And I was a little bit confused. And then I sat down and I was driving with my car, and I like to hear radio, because when you have, you know, I have Spotify too, and the playlists and everything. But when you hear Spotify and the playlist, you hear not only music you know. Yeah, in the radio, you could be surprised by some songs. And in this radio station, there were a young Austrian group from Vienna. They have 3 brothers and 1 sister, the Wallners, and they are so sympathical in the interview. And I asked myself, oh, I hope that their music is good, because sometimes it's so hard that some artists are sympathical and their art is shit, and the other way around, if some artists are assholes and their art is good, is also, I don't like it so much. Yeah? And so in this moment, when the song starts, I know immediately this is the song. Yes? This was a premiere of the song on the radio station, and the producer had given them a phone call next day that we can buy it for the movie, and this is totally the best song. I heard it 600 times during the work, yeah, and it doesn't. It's what I like it until today.
Super. Thank you. I think we want to see the movie now. I would like to thank you very much, Christian Petzold, for this talk, this introduction to your wonderful film. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And next year I will come to you. Thank you for the moderation. Fantastic questions. It's very hard to make a moderation before a movie. I know this.
Yes, but not so much. As make a movie is more difficult, I would say.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.